Welcome to Check Please, the show where regular people from all over Chicago recommend and review their favorite restaurants. So this is how this show works. Every week we have 3 guests. Each recommends his or her favorite spot, and the other 2 go to check them out to see what they think. This week, realtor Matt Ellicott is sold on his favorite spot. He says that if you're in the market for memorable and mouth-watering Malaysian food, he's got a one-of-a-kind recommendation for you. But music teacher Laura Dahl can't stop singing the praises of her favorite French bistro. She says for a unique meal with spectacular service and a stylish setting, follow her to her superb selection. But up first, comedian Alicia Bryan says if you're looking for bonkers barbecue made with lots of love, her spot is the place to be. She says for a fun atmosphere where everyone gets sauce, join the crowd at Big Ed's.
Everybody comes to Big Ed. If you like barbecue, you're coming here. We treat people good, we feed them good. I think that's just important when you're spending your hard-earned money. It's rewarding for me to know that people really enjoy it. You cannot come into this place and order a sandwich, because we don't sell them here. We sell sandwiches. So a lot of times people will come in who are new and they'll say, I'll have a brisket sandwich, and we'll go, nah. And people who are in line behind them, they're screaming, say sandwich, say sandwich. It's a lot of fun. It's like dinner and a show, quite honestly. You see the sign out front? Get your ass in here and eat before we both starve. It's a true statement. And I work hard. I get in a little after 4 every morning. We make it fresh every day. So I would expect people to like it as much as they do, because we put in the work. And it's genuine. That's who we are. We want you to have a good experience.
So Alicia, you say that Big Ed's barbecue is the best around. Tell us why you chose it.
Well, I mean, from the funny menu to the delicious tender brisket that they serve up, it's just absolutely worth the visit to the restaurant. Absolutely.
All right, so barbecue is a pretty tall order for a lot of people. You know, it's like it's a religion. What makes this the best barbecue for you?
Well, they season the meat just right, so you can actually eat the meat without putting any sauce on it. But they do have about 7 different flavors of sauces to just put that over the top.
How did you discover this place?
Well, they originally opened in another location about 6 or 7 years ago. So I kind of followed them to the new location as they upgraded.
It's kind of in this nondescript area of Waukegan. It's sort of like the thing going in town, it seems.
Well, when you've had a long day of shopping at Walmart, having a place to go have some awesome barbecue is exactly what you need, because you can feed the entire family. They're going to eat everything, hands down.
It was wonderful. All I kept thinking was, I wish I had more family with me, because it seems like a very family-friendly place. The kids' menu looked awesome, and I didn't have any kids to share it with, but my family enjoyed it. We really enjoyed the brisket, and we had the pulled pork, and I tried it without the sauce first because I wanted to just enjoy the flavor. But the sides were what I fell in love with. The Lord have mercy beans, the regular baked mac and cheese, which was a hit with my family. I took it a little personally because I'm known for my mac and cheese and they liked it better, but that's okay. I'll give it to Big Ed's. But the cornbread muffin was honestly my favorite. I felt like it could have been dessert. It was delicious.
So sweet. I love it.
We had the brisket dinner and the combo dinner, so we got the rib tips and the hot link, and the rib tips were probably my favorite. And going back to like what you mentioned about the 7 sauces on the table, I really enjoyed the variety of mixing up every bite and trying all the different flavors, so it kept things interesting.
Yeah, it kind of feels like you get more than one meal in one meal. I like the barbecue macaroni, actually. It takes regular mac and cheese to a whole new level. When you have pulled pork and brisket and everything inside your mac and cheese and that sweet barbecue sauce, I wanted to marry that macaroni.
I was told that there are no sandwiches here, but they do have sandwiches.
It ain't a sandwich if it ain't a sandwich.
You had a sandwich, Laura. How was it?
Yes, delicious. Very much so. And as you said, it didn't need the sauce to be good. And we did have the bumpy chocolate cake and my wife's pound cake, because anything called my wife's you want to order, it's got to be good.
The key lime pie, honey. Citrus heaven on a plate. Yes, it is. I was absolutely blown away. And the size of the piece really made me happy.
So Laura, who would you recommend this place to?
Families, definitely, because it is affordable to feed a large group, family members, children, and you have plenty to take home afterwards.
Yeah, right. Very generous portions. And my sister's actually a pescatarian.
Oh.
And they had a catfish sandwich, so that was great for her to be able to join us and not feel like she wasn't included.
So Alicia, what's the service like?
It's like being served by one of your brothers or sisters. They're so personable. They laugh and joke with you. I mean, aside from the front server being so handsome.
So not a brother or sister.
No.
I'll put that out there.
You just don't feel like you're out of place. They make you feel like you're home, like you're just walking up to grandma and asking her to fix you a plate. Like, that's how personable they are with you.
Let's talk about Big Ed, because he's definitely the huge part of the personality of this restaurant, from the playful menu, the Lord have mercy beans, and the wangs, right? But self-taught, he left corporate America, taught himself barbecue, and the shirt what says, "What's that smell?" was because he was cooking so much barbecue. And he actually said his neighbor thought his stove was broken. He's like, every time I see you're always cooking outside. But he says neighbors are always coming over going, "What's that smell?"
I would love to be his neighbor if that's what he has, is barbecue all the time. But he's really, really a sweet guy. And he doesn't mind coming out and being very personable with you and asking how you're doing. And if he recognizes you, you feel like one of his good friends, you know. I just love the place. I just do. I love to eat, but I really love the place.
All right, Alicia, you picked Big Ed. Sum it up for us.
If you need a restaurant where your family can go and you want to have fun, but you want to be well fed, Big Ed's is where you should go.
Matt?
Yeah, great barbecue, on point. Definitely try the rib tips and have fun with all the sauces.
And Laura?
Excellent food, loved the sides, bring the kids, and the corn muffin will change your life.
Well, you can try the brisket and much more at Big Ed's Barbecue, 4030 North Point Boulevard in Waukegan, 847-473-5333. They're open for lunch and dinner Tuesday through Sunday. Reservations are not accepted, and the average tab per person without drinks is $23. Matt Ellicott loves exploring Chicago's amazing culinary scene. So when he came across our city's only Malaysian restaurant, he knew he had to tell the world. He says for fresh flavors and alluring aromas, make your way to Milwaukee Avenue and join him at Serai.
Yeah, I hope they come to try what is called Malay food. Malay food are a little bit spicy because are influenced by Malay, Chinese, and India.
So when you taste Malaysian food, you taste a flavor of, this looks Chinese, but the flavor is Indian. Or this is Malay food, but there's Chinese ingredients in there. So it's a bit confusing for people who are new to it, but the flavor is very international because it caters to all three main cultures. It will open up the taste palette altogether. Well, customers expect a culture shock when they come in. This is a very traditional Malaysian restaurant with traditional flavors, but the atmosphere is not traditional. 3 years on, I'm still enjoying it. I'm motivated. The team is amazing, and seeing customers being satisfied and happy and coming back all the time keeps us motivated as well.
When they are finished all the stuff, I am very happy.
Yeah.
So Matt, you say that Serai is very special. Tell us why you chose it.
Yeah, I think it's a great combination of a lot of different flavors. If you were to take Indian food, Chinese, Thai, and Malaysian and kind of bring it all into one spot, you would get Serai.
Yeah, I was going to say, perhaps a lot of people have never had Malaysian food. Like, how would you describe it? But I think that's a great description. So, Laura, I'm going to go right to you. Have you ever had Malaysian food before?
I'd never had Malaysian food. It was wonderful, and it was an adventure. We had a fantastic server who guided us through the menu and gave us great recommendations, and the selections were perfect.
What'd you order?
Well, we had the pork and the noodles, and then we had the 3 chili chicken, and we finished with the coconut milk pudding. Yeah.
What I did is I wanted to look for flavors, and not only flavors, but dishes that I possibly wouldn't have tried anywhere else or at any other time. And I had the mango chicken. I was completely impressed with the presentation. I was able to get my chicken served up on an open mango shell, which was so cool to me. I had the pad thai noodles with chicken. I've had Thai food before, but I've never had Malaysian food. So I figured that would be something familiar but different, and I would be able to see the spin on the dish. Yeah. And it was really different. I was blown away, honestly. Yeah. I was really blown away.
How was the pad thai? I mean, that's a very popular dish. How did it compare to like other pad thais you had?
It was definitely a lot more kick in it. It was just enough heat that I could enjoy it, but not too much heat to where it would just burn the back of my throat.
That's a good thing, right? Yeah. So, Matt, what are your go-to dishes at Serai?
Well, we really mix it up because they do have an extensive menu, and we love the variety and flavors. So this last time we tried the lemak with beef rendang. So it's a rice dish, and it has pickled onions and anchovies and a fried egg on the side. So you can kind of mix things together and create a combination of flavors that you like. We did the Serai curry laksa, which is actually a combination of shrimp, pork, and chicken, and it's a soup noodle dish. So same thing, delicious. Just tremendous combination of flavors and a lot of variety. And it's definitely, if you're feeling adventurous with the spices, check out Serai.
And then somebody ordered the roti paratha.
Right.
Which, I find so fascinating because that's such an Indian dish. We get like but their bread is a little more fluffy and like crispy, right?
Not as flaky as a traditional parota, but still very good. And it comes with a side of the chicken curry. And I'd say the chicken curry was pretty close to my mom's.
I could say you're South Asian descent.
Right.
So pretty close flavors right there, right?
Yeah. So it was great. It was a great appetizer. And we also had the cumin lamb skewers. So it was also on point. So just the variety and combination of flavors, I love it.
Elisa, did you have any cocktails?
Yes, I did. I had the Singapore sling, and it almost slinged me right to Singapore. It had that much alcohol in it. It was perfect to wash down the spice, especially with that sweetness, and it had a hint of mint from the fresh mint leaf that was in it. It was awesome.
And then how was the service?
Amazing. We loved our server. She was so kind. As a matter of fact, we had so much food. We were at a 2-top. She said, would you like to move to the 4-top? That just opened up. And nobody in the restaurant judged us for all of our food, so we appreciated it. But no, it was fantastic.
The owner, Victor, actually lived in Singapore. And what's so fascinating, if you look at geographically where Malaysia is located, you have Singapore directly south, and you have Indonesia, and Thailand's not too far away. I mean, it's a real melting pot cuisine. Does this restaurant have sort of a getaway feel to it? Like, were you transported to Malaysia all of a sudden?
I wouldn't say I was transported to Malaysia, but it was definitely a very serene atmosphere going on. The colors were very calming, and it was very rustic. So it wasn't one of those places where you felt like you had to get super fancy or spiffy to go to, but you could go there whether you were taking someone on a date or you just wanted a nice meal, and you could really be relaxed and feel like you're just enjoying the food.
Yeah. How'd you find the neighborhood?
Using my GPS. But it really seems like they have a good nightlife there. There was a really booming bar across the street, so it was nice to have a really good meal and then go across the street and kind of let loose a bit.
Yeah. Well, didn't you go to the bar first?
I did, actually, thinking it was the restaurant. I mean, I was happy. I'm like, hey, I'm going to find a date tonight. And they're like, oh, no, you need to be across the street.
All right, Matt, you chose Serai. Sum it up for us.
Great neighborhood spot with a lot of variety and flavors, combining multiple cultures, and it's tough to compare with the second restaurant in the city. I think it stands out definitely when it comes to Malaysian food.
Laura?
Diverse menu, great service, good vibe, and deliciously crafted cocktails.
And Alicia?
If you love Asian cuisine and you just want some food that's going to take something like Thai to the next level, try Malaysian food. It's delicious.
Well, you can taste the skewers and much more at Serai, 2169 North Milwaukee Avenue, 872-206-8368. They're open for dinner Tuesday through Friday and lunch and dinner on Saturday and Sunday. Reservations are accepted and the average tab per person without drinks is $15. Laura Dahl says you're transported to France the second you step into her selection. She says for a soothing experience, carefully crafted cocktails, and the tastiest tartare in town, join her and Chef Martial at Bistronomic.
I believe in the Gold Coast, we are the only one, almost the only one to be family business, owned by a family. And I wanted to open a bistro, and I wanted to open more like a restaurant that you come every day. That is not expensive, the food is great, we work with the farmer, we work with the market, we work with the season, we change the menu 4 or 5 times a year, we do prefix menu, seasonal prefix menu, change every day. The policy of Bistronomic is always to say yes and to make sure that anybody who's going to come here will be a repeat customer. And I don't let them to leave before they're happy. It's the way I work.
So Laura, you say Bistronomic is delightful. Tell us why you chose it.
I find that it's our go-to place, whether it's a special occasion or if we're downtown and we need to grab a bite to eat. We usually look at each other and go, Bistronomic.
Are you a fan of French food?
Yes. We have just started eating French food on our own. We have never been to France, but we found that we liked it when we were out in Napa or in New York or other places throughout the United States. We find ourselves going to a French restaurant. And then we found ourselves at Bistronomic, and it's kind of become the place that we like the best.
Alicia, what did you think?
I was blown away. I had never had French food before, and I had never had such a fine dining experience. So I felt like royalty. Me and my friends literally felt like queens sitting in this restaurant. It was the first time I ever had to make a reservation for myself, so that just took it to the next level. We even got an opportunity to meet the head chef, which is completely crazy since this was the first time we had ever been to this restaurant. So the fact that he was so personable and wanted to come out and take pictures with us, we really enjoyed ourselves.
I think everybody got a visit from Chef Martial.
Yes,
Really?
Cool. It was something we definitely appreciated because that's something that rarely happens.
Yes.
So for him to come out and make sure everything was prepared to our liking says a lot about what they think about their customers.
Yes, and the culture.
So Laura, what are your go-to items at Bistronomic?
We usually start with the tuna tartare, but sometimes we get a little more ambitious and we try the charcuterie. Always the filet au poivre. The last time we were there, we actually had the veal porterhouse, which was on the specials menu, and again, it was accompanied with gnocchi and mushrooms, so rich and divine. And my daughters love the chicken.
Let's talk about the chicken. I had the organic Amish chicken, and when I tell you I had never bit into a piece of chicken that tasted and felt so silky. It was like chicken flavored chocolate. I was blown away. It just literally melted right in your mouth.
What else did you order, Alicia?
Well, to start, we had cocktails. So I love the Paris with the twist. It was citrusy but sweet. So I really liked that. And as an appetizer, I had the squash soup. And it sounds odd, but I love the presentation. You get a bowl with the little arugula, and then they pour the soup over it, and it absorbs it and creates this atmosphere. It was absolutely delicious, so creamy. One of my friends had a fennel salad, and it was funny because she's like, what's fennel? We're Googling it and everything. And then my other friend, she really loved the French onion soup. And onion soup, you think a little onions, it was so delicious.
All right. So, Matt, you went for lunch. Any plans to go back for dinner?
Yeah, my wife and I were so impressed with our lunch meal, we agreed we'd go back to try the dinner menu. She went with the award-winning La French burger, and then I had the steak and frites. And what I was really impressed with was they took something as simple as fries and stepped it up to another level by putting the
fries amazing.
Right, the black truffle sea salt and Parmesan and hand-cut fries. So I think even just taking something very basic as fries and stepping it up, they did a great job, and the rest of the food and menu matched perfectly.
Yeah, my friend ordered the filet mignon, and we all shared those fries. We were blown away from them too. Like, McDonald's, you're out of here.
Marcial actually he's a trained pastry chef. You guys take advantage of his delicious desserts?
We had 3 of them. We had the creme brulee, which I had never had creme brulee, but I wanted to try it because it just sounds like money. We also had the baked Alaska, and it had these toasted almonds on it. That was so delicious. And then my other friend got a puff pastry that I can't remember the name, but it was full of ice cream.
Oh, the profiteroles.
Yes, that's exactly what it was.
You know, this is such a rare restaurant in the sense, given the location. Matt, you're in real estate. I mean, were you kind of surprised, given the price point and just the neighborhood feel of this restaurant in the Gold Coast?
So I think they did a very effective job of filling a niche there, of providing upscale dining at an affordable price for the local residents.
Especially the tasting menu. It is so reasonable, and you can come away having had a delicious 3-course meal. And I also think the wines are delicious and affordable as well.
Okay, Laura, you chose Bistronomic. Sum it up for us.
Delicious menu, wonderful staff, lovely surroundings, and the perfect place for a special occasion or just to stop by for a bite to eat.
Alicia?
If you have never experienced fine dining of any sort, this is a great place to start. From the service to the silkiest chicken you have ever had in your life, Bistronomic is definitely a place I would frequent often.
And Matt?
Affordable fine dining with great, impeccable service.
Well, you can try the French for yourself at Bistronomic, 840 North Wabash, 312-944-8400. They're open daily for dinner, lunch Wednesday through Friday, and brunch on Saturday and Sunday. Reservations are accepted, and the average tab per person without drinks is $35. So in this week's show, we featured Big Ed's Barbecue in Waukegan, Serai in Logan Square, and Bistronomic in the Gold Coast. Let's recap what our guests had to say. First, we headed to Lake County and chowed down at Big Ed's Barbecue. Alicia recommends it for delicious barbecue with a sense of humor. Laura really enjoyed the side dishes and family atmosphere. Matt appreciated the warm staff and loved the variety of sauces. Then we made our way to Milwaukee and stopped in at Serai. Matt recommends it for its diverse combination of Malaysian flavors and neighborhood feel. Laura appreciated the server's recommendations and felt like she was taken on an adventure. Alicia loved the presentation and the serene atmosphere. Lastly, we went to Wabash and dined at Bistronomic. Laura recommends it for the delicious French cuisine and beautiful atmosphere. Alicia was blown away by the food and was treated like royalty. Matt thought it was a wonderful fine dining experience for an affordable price. Well, we've had just a wonderful time this week, and I'd like to thank my guests, Alicia Bryant, Matt Ellicat and Laura Dahl. Join us next week for 3 new guests recommending 3 of their favorite restaurants right here on Check Please. I'm Alpana Singh, and I'll see you then. Cheers.
For more information about the restaurants featured on Check Please, go to WTTW.com/checkplease.